Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. So, I got something special planned today. Well, I say planned. Because of things that happened in September, October snuck up on me, so I wasn't able to get Halloween videos out on time. And everything has been pretty improv, and even during October, distractions and stuff have been happening. So, today I actually want to try something new, which is doing a drawing from start to finish, all within 3 to 4 hours. Get as far as I can, and I hang around with you guys and chat. Now today we're going to be drawing a D&D monster for my homebrew campaign, which is inspired by the Phantom Cruise Line. In case anyone doesn't know what that is, the Phantom Cruise Line is an attraction which was used once at Disney World for Halloween. It was never used again because they were convinced it was cursed. That might not be technically true, or that might be half right. But essentially, the ride was a boat called the Mark Twain, and then there was another boat that I can't remember the name of, but it had a girl's name. And one Halloween, they constructed this phantom that was covered in chains which were attached to the boat, and it would pull the boat, as it were. And this is what this monster is inspired by. So we're gonna... This is just a rough that I've already done. We're going to fill in the rough with pencil, then I'll scan it in, and then we'll ink it, and then if we've got time, we'll make a start on the digital version. So I'm going to start with this hook, I think. Yep. Akka will be in the stream and she'll be reading the chat because of where I've got to draw this. I can't see the chat, so if anybody is talking right now, I apologise. But eventually Akka will be here to read the chat for me, and we can have a good time together. She's just preoccupied at the minute.
Hello.
And here she comes. She's going to make a brew. Is there anyone in the chat at the minute?
EP's here.
Hello, EP.
Judith's here.
Who?
Unless he... Oh yeah, Ring Garda's come. Yeah, EP and Judith are here.
Hello.
Do you want a hot drink?
No, thank you.
In case anyone doesn't know what that is, that's for my benefit. That was EP. Judith says hey.
Well, did I review hear what this drawing was based on when I was talking about the Phantom Cruise Line? Probably put something here, maybe a little wart on the nose, because this is meant to be a troll. Also, how are you both? And how are you, Akka?
I'm good. I'm as good as I usually am. EP said he heard.
He heard. What about you, Judizzle? Okay, this hood's going to be a bit
NG
tricky.
Plus is here. Hello.
NG plus that, well,
That's
that might be
Nathan
one or
Gina.
both of the Coxes, yeah. Hello! Oh, did we get raided or did they just turn up?
They just turned up.
Because they were streaming before. They were streaming... something. I forget what. I saw it though, which is annoying me. Don't think it was Kingdom Hearts. Oh, it was Pokemon. It was either Diamond or Pearl, one of the two. Yep.
EP's had a big day of recording.
Oh.
Getting a bit tired now. He's still recording.
Oh, Jesus.
Swifty's here.
Take
Hi,
a break,
Swifty.
EP. And hello, Swifty. Got wires everywhere.
Apparently DTG is still live.
Oh, there's... Whoa. Oh, so one of them is snuck away.
One of them snuck away. I see.
Naughty, naughty. It's probably Gina. Unless they've said, is it Gina? Your future wife.
I don't think they said. No, they just said hey earlier.
Right. So if I get this hook. And curve it round, stick it into the skin. God, I sound like a psychopath. Then define this a little bit. Need to do that a bit more because it's pulling on his forearm. Hopefully some shading will sort that out and make it look more convincing when we get to it.
Mm-hmm. Brew time.
Brew.
So you know how I was making that saltwater crocodile exhibit before?
Akka was playing Planet Zoo before she was
I
making a exhibit for crocodiles.
I was playing Planet Zoo and I remembered something that I think you might find funny. I mean, it was painful at the time, but I was on sandbox mode and I made this like really cool underground cave to put the crocodiles in, and I had like a path that basically I had like the path going into the cave and then like a viewing area, and then I had actually made like the enclosure with the fence, but I'd put like made the ground sort of form around it and then put rocks over it to hide it, so it was like you literally walked underground to see them, and the game couldn't recognize it as an exhibit, so I spent all this time making this really cool looking cave and then it wouldn't let me put the crocodiles in.
At least you did it.
Yeah, but I couldn't actually make it work, which was irritating.
Yeah.
It was like the best thing I've ever made on that game. I'm so sad.
I'd be annoyed too. It's like, so, well, at least you did it. It's like, well, yeah, that's like saying, I made a cake, but no one ate any.
Like, if you can't see the crocodiles actually swimming around and using it, what's the point?
Yeah. Oh, what's that noise?
Noise.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just the music being a bit funny. Akka will be reading the chat in a minute. She's just making a brew. Hmm?
Very important.
It is very important that Akka has a brew.
Very.
It's a matter of life and death.
sad that now I'm kind of tempted to try the idea with the cave again and see if I can get it to work, but like, I'll spend fucking hours on it and it won't work, and I'll just be sad again.
Yeah. The only chance you've got is if they actually put an update in that allows it to happen.
Maybe. I hope I can do shit like that on Prehistoric Kingdom, because like the game looks a little bit more advanced than Planet Zoo. Like from the little bits we've seen, but like those were just really short clips, so I don't know.
Yeah, Aka's very excited about Prehistoric Kingdom.
I like my park builders, and like coupled with dinosaurs, and not with like a Jurassic Park everything must fight.
Everything
thing.
must fight. Yeah,
like,
the fucking psychopaths in Jurassic Park that want you to fight, make the dinosaurs
it's really
fight.
Fucked up. It's like you've also got like the scientists who actually want like that. Those are the ones that I like. Like I vibe with them.
Yeah, because they're like, we need to ensure their survival and things like that.
Yeah, like they're all about sort of like making sure you're looking after them and like researching them and stuff. And then you get like the dickheads who are like, oh no, put a T-Rex in with a Triceratops, let's watch them fight. It'll be great. And then you do that because they told you to, and then suddenly your park's getting like a lower rating because like health issues.
Although we always ask the same question of how can a park that's got dinosaurs in it get lower than 5 stars?
Unless it was like health issues and safety issues, but literally like the guests will wander around and be like, I can't buy a t-shirt next to the toilets, I don't like it.
Yeah. What else will I wipe my arse on?
Yeah, it's sort of like and like whenever you place a restaurant down, it can only sell like one type of food, which is really bizarre.
Has anyone said anything?
No. Like, Jurassic World's a good dinosaur game, but I don't think it's a good park builder, if I'm honest with you.
No, I think a lot of people have said they prefer Operation Genesis.
Yeah. I think I did have that when I was younger, but I only vaguely remember it. I remember playing it on yours.
You attempted to play it on mine and you hated how clunky it was.
I think it's just because, like, I've grown used to smoother controls and graphics.
You've spoilt.
I am spoiled. I'll be very spoiled if Prehistoric Kingdom comes out and it's what I'm hoping it is. Like, then I'm gonna be spoiled. If it's not all I'm hoping it is, I'm going to be so disappointed. Though I'm setting myself up for like disappointment.
You don't want to look forward to anything because you feel like you jinx it.
Yeah.
But then, if you don't look forward to it, you can blame everyone else for looking forward to it.
Yep.
So we're going to put a bandage of sorts on this thing's hand. And then a thumb.
A bit steampunky maybe, says NG+.
For what?
Which NG+ are you? Maybe the drawing?
Steampunky. Well. Slight spoilers for Akka here because this is something for a campaign I'm playing with her.
My fingers in my ears, everyone.
But you can still hear me. Look, dumb slag. See? She just put her tongue out at me. She can still hear me.
For fuck's sake. Fine, okay, spoil it.
I won't give it too much spoiler. But it's a ghost ship. Essentially. The most important of all ships. Okay, so I think that's an arm done. The chains are going to be what's annoying to draw. Though I do have my own method of doing it. Has anyone said out?
Nope.
Have you seen anything from the steampunk game?
Which steampunk game?
No, cyberpunk, sorry.
Is it the one you played with me where it was like that cool steampunky, cyberpunky elf woman? Or
No, that was Shadowrun.
then no, I don't think so.
So that was the game that was made by the people who did The Witcher. But they said, right, we're working on it really hard. We've tested it. There's no problems. It's coming out on this date. And then they went, we found the date. We found the problem. It's going to come out later. So then it worked on it. And they went, right, now there's no problems. We're going to release it tomorrow. And then immediately they went, yeah, we have to withdraw it again. Because we just found more problems.
Oh my god.
And then people just started getting mad, just going, release it. So they did, and it was still a mess. And then they went, wow, this is disgraceful. And it's like, well, you could have given them time to carry on.
Oh, Chrissy's here. I'm here, but we'll be quiet as I'm about to get in the shower.
She's having a baby.
Yes, congratulations, Chrissy.
But we won't ever be having a baby. Scaly babies and fur babies. That's all we're getting. Because they love us. And don't, yeah, they love us without being pricks.
I mean...
Dover's behaved.
She's behaved. She loves you. She doesn't like me. Well, I think she puts up with me.
We did a photo shoot with her today, and she was fine with you.
Yeah, she puts up with me, but she likes you.
Doesn't
Can confirm being pregnant is shit. Oh, I hope you feel better. Like, even if it's just temporarily.
You may. Just heard the music. Woo! Okay, and then there's another hook that comes around here. I don't remember this song. I think it's still the reggae playlist. Anyone in the chat, your ideal pet, if you could afford it and it would love you forever and ever, your ideal pet is what? And what's yours?
I've got mine. But I always wanted a snake.
A snake.
Ever since I was a child, I've always loved snakes.
Ever since I was a wee little slime.
EP says a brown bear.
Bear.
But impossible. Why a brown bear? Chrissy says a giraffe.
Giraffe.
Judith says a boyfriend.
A boyfriend is not a pet. Well, maybe if you have that kind of relationship, but... Chrissy wants a giraffe.
Please explain your choices.
Yes.
Except you, Judith. Keep it PG-13.
Yeah. Shit, I just want something to snuggle.
Yeah. Gonna get Puds a collar.
Yeah. I found chocolate in the shop today that were called Puds. I wanted to take a photo and send them to Judith. And go, look what I found.
Chrissy just says they're my favourite.
Are you saying that because you want to ride on one on its neck and feel and just look down on everyone? Peasants with big piggies on its head.
Because I've seen videos with bears that have human friends and they just seem so awesome. Yeah, you just gotta be careful. Like,
yeah, brown bears will kill you. Black ones are scared of you.
No, he said brown bears, I think.
Yeah, I know. Brown ones will kill you. Black
Yeah.
ones are scared of you.
Or a tiger. Hashtag exotic pixel. Yeah, you just gotta be careful with them, like, because I feel like you see a mixture of actual, like, zookeepers and people who are trained to know what to do with them, and then just sort of dickheads who get exotic pets because they're rich idiots.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting killed. I love how they can be so graceful and derpy. Yeah.
Derp.
Very pretty.
Giraffes or bears?
Giraffes, I think. Have you ever seen a giraffe drink from a pool? It's hilarious. So there you.
I have seen a giraffe give birth because they can't reach the ground. They essentially just drop them.
Oh my god. I can't get over. I was watching Heaven's Design Team and the episode.
Tell everyone what Heaven's Design Team is first.
So Heaven's Design Team is this anime, and the premise of it is that God couldn't design all the animals by himself because there's too many of them, so he outsourced them. That's the idea. Like you've got like a team of people whose job it is to.
And God's a cunt as well.
Yeah, God's a dickhead in this show. You've got like a team of people whose job it is to create new animals, and every so often God will kind of just ring them up via an angel and say like, I want you to create an animal that makes such a thing, or I want you. It'll give them like specific criteria they have to meet. And like there was this one episode where they were making a giraffe, and like the sort of prototypes were basically just deers, and they kept stretching the neck longer and longer. It was really funny.
It still cracks me up that when they went to that party in what was essentially their version of hell, and one of the demons, or at least someone who runs it there, went, "Can you design me a messenger for hell?" And someone designs a rabbit, then God goes, "I'll have that."
Yeah, he was so nice as well. Like, I can't remember what his job was, but he was kind of like one of Hell's overseers, and he was really, really sweet to them all, and they all got really teary-eyed because, oh my god, a client's actually being nice to us. What is this?
What is manners?
And they ended up designing Cerberus for him as a mascot.
The mascot of hell is a three-headed doggo.
I think they designed Cerberus, and they had another one. Like, he went to them asking for a mascot, and they had a contest, so they split up into two groups, and one group designed Cerberus, and the other designed, like, I can't remember if it was a dinosaur or a dragon or something, and he loved them both, so he just took them both home.
A dragon?
Yeah, it was like, I think it might have actually been a T-Rex, because I have this memory of
T-Rexes are in hell, because they're mascots of hell.
I have this memory of them having a T-Rex in this room, and it's too big and none of them know what to do with it, and then they have to try and like fit it into a portal to hell. But I don't know if that was the T-Rex moment or if it was like something else.
Was there another one? Oh yeah, that was it. Weren't they exploring some of the things they'd made, and they ended up in a river full of crocodiles, and they found the female one? How can you tell? It's got eyelashes.
Yeah. Oh, that anime is brilliant.
Or the one where they're designing the otter, and the otter keeps being too cute.
The otter's adorable. It's so cute.
Icy's warm.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the guy who designed the rabbit, though, his hair is fantastic.
Yeah. I really love that they don't shy away from like some of the animals being like really gross. Like there's one character,
the girl.
The one with the pink hair.
Yeah.
Her perception of cute and gross are kind of the opposite to everyone else's. So she'll design like the most disgusting, like gruesome creatures, and she's
tend
the
to
one
be
that,
insects, right?
No, actually, like they're more sort of like the parasites and like, you know, the stuff that's actually really, really terrifying when you get down to it.
Yeah.
I think she did squids as well.
Squid.
But like she'll design all these ones that sort of eat in really gross ways, or like they're parasitic life forms that sort of feed off something else. Like, oh, they're really gross, but she's like there, just like, oh yeah, this is adorable, so cute.
Isn't she always carrying around some sort of creature as well?
Yeah. I think a lot of them do that, actually. It's just, for some reason, you notice it more with her.
Isn't your favourite the guy who's obsessed with horses?
I love him. He's great. He just wants everything to be a horse. His answer for everything is to try and like rework the horse design.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't there an episode you told me about where he's trying to make a unicorn and it's just not working?
They keep telling him like they don't have it. Like horses can't make enough calcium to be able to grow a unicorn horn, and like they try and like take different animals and make them into unicorns instead. Ones that would actually
like
work.
A rabbit.
No, like deers, for instance, like, because deers already grow antlers, so it'd be a lot easier to just, instead of having them grow an antler, they just grow a horn instead. But he's not happy with it because the deers don't look as pretty to him as the horses do. The horse is just like the epitome of beauty and grace.
The epiphany.
Yeah, that
Epiphany.
one. That word.
You ever watched the Ricky Gervais show, which was where they took his radio show and animated it?
No.
So, I don't get why it was called the Ricky Gervais show, because it was just them making fun of Carl all the time. And Carl is a fucking idiot, but he's that much of an idiot that he's a genius.
Who's Carl?
Carl Pilkington.
Oh, I see. Right, I'm with you now.
Yeah. So they just make fun of him on the show, and it might as well have just been his show, because he spoke the most.
I've never heard anyone talk about Carl Pilkington without saying his full
yes,
name.
that's it.
Like, I've never heard anyone talk about him without using his full name.
You know 3 different Carls. You know Carl Pilkington, and then Carl from Walking Dead, and then you've got Carl that kills people.
Jesus Christ, Carl, why are there faces?
But yeah, they asked him what kind of animal would you want to make, and he basically made a snail-owl hybrid.
Amazing. Carl Pilkington actually, like, he is kind of an idiot, but he creates, like, these really ingenious inventions that no one else has come up with. Like, he's actually created at least a couple of things, and I can't remember what they were, but, like, they sold. Like, people actually looked at them and went, huh, that's actually pretty useful.
Did you ever hear when some guys came up to him wanting an idea for a film? And he came up with it on the spot. Because he's like, because his logic was, sometimes you think better when you're just talking.
Yeah.
But not in his case. But the idea for the film he came up with was Clive Owen, who he called Clive Warren, so immediately he got the lead actor's name wrong.
That would be something I'd do, to be fair.
And then so it's a film about a couple, and on the way to work, the husband gets run over, and the doctors say to her, look, we can save him by taking half of his brain and swapping it with one half of your brain. So he's in her head.
Right.
And it starts off as a bit of a comedy, like at his funeral he'll be saying things in her head like, oh, look at her face, oh, isn't her ass round, and things like that.
You know what, this kind of reminds me of this other really old comedy movie, like a dark comedy. And I don't remember what it was called, but the premise of it was that the main character was just a brain in a jar. And, like, this woman fell in love with him, and he's just...
Isn't this part of the Billy and Mandy show?
No,
and he's attached to a bear.
No, it was an actual movie. And I vividly... My dad showed it me. I'll have to get him... get him...
Of course your dad has seen this film.
He loves, like, old comedies. But, like, I vividly remember there was a scene later on that was, like, supposed to be really romantic. And they're like in this boat in the middle of a lake. And there's this beautiful woman there. And then on the other side of the boat, there's just a brain in a jar.
Oh, apparently, I saw a screenshot today of Amphibia.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there's a Gravity Falls reference in there. There's a Grunkle Stan doll sat on the shelf somewhere.
Oh my god, I'll have to keep an eye out for it. Like, I've not seen the latest episode yet because I'm unwilling to pay Disney any money to watch it.
Well, that's why Mike's offered us his Disney Plus.
So I'm usually a few days behind any new episodes.
Is anybody watching anything in the chat that's really caught their eye? It's just whenever you mention a boat, I blame you entirely for this.
What?
Whenever you say a boat, I just pictured Grunkle Stan standing in his boat going, "My ex-wife always misses me, but her aim is getting better."
You know the best part is now we know it's Ida. We know it's Ida he's talking about.
But I don't think anyone in the chat knows what we're talking about.
Okay. This is like some Disney Channel cartoon lore.
No, this is Disney animators, as in like people who make shows dicking around with each other.
Yeah.
Because they like each other.
So, Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, he's... I don't know if they're married, but I think he's in like a relationship with Dana Terrace, who does the Owl House. And and one of the main characters in the Owl House, Ida, basically they had an episode that confirmed that she was Grunkle Stan's ex-wife. Like
you were married for 2 days, right?
Yeah. Like she essentially went to the human world. They got married for 2 days, and then she stole all of his shit and went back to the witch world, the demon isle, demon realm. What was it called?
Just wherever she lives.
Yeah, but because like she goes. Like, Luz goes back to the human world, and she goes into this cafe, and she's looking for like any sort of leads on magic, and so she's following this one like that she found these cards that Ida used to use. They were like playing cards from the magic world, and they've got a picture of Ida in like a wig and some like really shitty disguise behind the counter, and underneath it's like a fake name. And like in a extra sort of thing with the Gravity Falls cast, they sort of like made a one-off joke about Grunkle Stan, and he mentioned Ida's fake name as his ex-wife. It's so good. It's not as funny when you have to sit here and explain it to people.
I think a lot of people have probably just gone over their heads. I don't think anyone here is watching the Owl House or Gravity Falls. EP being told off in our Discord because he's not finished Cruella yet or whatever it is. That was funny though.
It's just sort of like once you get me onto something, like I have to sort of just talk in depth about it. ADHD brain go brrr and all that.
Or if you find an attractive woman in it because you have a crush on Ida.
I do have a crush on Ida. I have a massive crush on Ida. She's great.
Or anything that features a gay couple because you love the gay couple that are in Owl House.
Anything that features a well-written gay couple.
Yeah.
Because, like, loads of stuff features gay couples now. I feel like we're allowed to be a bit more picky with representation.
Yes. You do it right.
Yeah.
And, funnily enough, a lot of studios can't.
Yeah.
Not through lack of effort, just they're too stupid.
It's just... I feel like if you're coming at it from a place of, right, we're going to do it for woke points, or we're going to do it because the producers have told us we have to do it, then you're already coming at it from a bad place.
It becomes a selling point then.
Yeah, I feel like you can still make that work if you get a good writer, but you're already coming at it from a bad place.
What was the question I asked? I went to a comic shop the other day and I was seeing some friends I hadn't seen in a while, and we have this game we call the President Game, and in it we just take a last name of a celebrity or something. It doesn't even have to be potentially a good president, it's just you want to be able to say that name with president in front of it. And it could be a fictional character, it can be a real person, it can be a dead person.
I'm really bad at this because I'm like, I could just say all my favourite celebrities, but it doesn't mean they'd be like, it doesn't mean they'd sound cool or anything.
Or ones that just sound funny to say, like President Pratt.
Yeah, I'm still just really not.
I got one. President Pixel.
President Pixel.
President Pixel.
President Pop.
President Sparkle Pop. President Biggie.
Biggie. The stream's actually like holding up for now. Like it's going really well considering how shit the internet's been today.
It has been really shit today, but I bet you've just jinxed it.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
President Stan. President Judith.
President Judith.
Imagine if it was Nathan and Gina, because then it's just President Cox. President Cock. Oh, there we go. Music's finally kicking in. Need to get these chains done before I actually do the boat properly. Why did I decide to draw something that had a lot of little itty bits?
Here we go. President Pixel, you called. Hashtag Aka the Jinx. America had President Cock. They voted him out last year. President Judith doesn't have that much of a presidential ring to it.
What about President Judizzle?
Judizzle.
Judizzle manizzle. For shizzle. President Jackman. President Hemsworth. It's weird how many wrestlers actually go into politics when their wrestling career isn't going as well as they'd hoped it did.
Yeah, because like I always get I think it's Kane and the Undertaker confused, but I know one of them's like a mayor.
Kane went to be the mayor somewhere.
I thought so.
And now he's come back to wrestling.
I only know that because Chemo and Elliot used to really love wrestling and they go on and on about it, and I just sit there like I know a small amount of these things. I just picked things up through osmosis.
You know, Ash likes wrestling, and when he told me that, I'm like, what could Ash, a gay man, possibly see in two half-naked sweaty men, sometimes covered in oil, holding each other?
Maybe he just likes the plots.
Yeah. I watch the porn for the plot. I go to the supermarket for the music.
I've never heard that before. I've heard I watch porn for the plot before, but I've never heard the supermarket one.
That one's from Mrs. Brown. She says to her son, like, Dermot, stop putting those dirty magazines under your bed. He goes, I buy them for the articles. I go to the supermarket for the music. Although, funnily enough, my big sister has legitimately bought an adult-ish magazine for an article.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the article? I'm interested.
Well, at the time, it was, I think it was either Big Brother or I'm a Celebrity was on, and it was the first time Katie Price had been in it.
Oh, okay.
And so people were obsessed with Peter Andre and Katie Price getting together and things like that. And she bought what was Nuts magazine, which is, it's got boobs in it, but, you know, they're all covered. And normally it's a men's magazine. So she puts it on the counter, and the guy's like, "Are you sure you want this magazine?" "Yeah, I want this magazine." "Are you sure you want this magazine?" It's usually for guys. She goes, "Yeah, I want it for Jordan." And he gave her a look. Like, oh, what? Because being back at that time, being a lesbian was still a bit of a no-no.
Yeah, alright. I was going to say, like, are
this
you
wasn't
really
last
questioning
week.
that? I know, but I suppose maybe I'm just so used to it now, like how normal it is now.
Hey guys, do you want me to try and make Akka laugh?
What?
I come in pies.
That poor kid.
Which, alright, so out of context, that probably sounds really bad for both of the things we've just said. But in context, there's a picture of Buzz Lightyear that a child drew, and he's tried to say, I come in peace, but he spelt peace pies.
That poor kid, when he grows up and he sees that on the internet, he's going to be like, oh no.
Oh no,
Oh no.
You know this music that's playing right now? I used it in a video that me and EP did playing Saints Row. And I was pimping up an armoured van, and this was the music that was playing. In May. So how is everyone in the chat then? Has anyone got any interesting stories of what happened in the week? Or just random insults to yell at me? Either's fine. It's all about interaction and having fun here. Get to try out my new pens as well. These so-called calligraphy pens. I haven't even taken them out of the pack yet, but there they are. Also, I took my godson and Akka to the zoo last weekend, and we got dinosaurs. Although that one was Akka's. I got a Triceratops, and I picked it up and went, I can use this. And then you saw it and went, ooh, dinosaurs!
Yeah,
I've got a T-Rex!
I dropped it into your bag and it pierced an iron brew can.
Yeah, I had a can of iron brew in my bag and she dropped it tail first in. Now, because it's a blunt tail, I'm like, I just watched her drop it, but it was enough to pierce the pop can and it just exploded. And it's not like she, spearheaded it or just threw it in.
No, the tail landed in the can. I don't
no.
know.
You just dropped it in and it just exploded. So my bag smelt of Scotland for a bit. Implying that Scotland smells of iron brew. Akka's doing a boogie to this one.
So there's this thing that's predictive text and how you can start off a sentence and see what it says.
You need to do the dungeon one.
Okay.
But finish your sentence and then we'll do the dungeon one.
There was a meme one that was for the slime anime. It was I'm reincarnated as and then let predictive text finish it off.
Okay.
The one
what does
in
yours says?
Well, the one in the meme first says I'm reincarnated as a joke, which is very funny. But mine was I'm reincarnated as a player.
Player.
So okay.
Right. Do that one we saw in those D&D memes, which was the dungeon of, and then let auto sentencing finish it.
Let me get up a blank message or something for myself. Dungeon of.
Yeah.
Dungeon of the best of luck. That was a bit shit.
It's just very difficult. So
Guys,
even the bad guy's going, good.
Do you have any suggestions? Let's play predictive text for a bit.
Yeah. What sentence should Akka finish on her phone?
Or type in the chat what your dungeon would be.
Or your ideal president name. When I went to high school, I knew someone whose last name was Bates. And when her dad became a master... Meow.
I'm listening.
That was it.
When her dad became a master, what?
It was embarrassing for her.
Oh, I see. I'm on my laptop, so no predictive text. Give me a sentence then, Judith.
Judizzle. Right, now I gotta do another chain. Even smaller.
I don't have creativity. Yeah, you do. Say the first thing that comes to your head.
What about my favourite number is?
You know.
I've seen it in a film once. My favourite number is potato.
My favourite number is a good time.
My favourite number is a good time. So 69?
I guess so.
Oh, I was going through some of the footage the other day for the series we're working on, and Lulu's head is in the background of one of them. Because I was working on what I was doing for the video, and she just poked her head up to watch. So she's there for about 1/4 of it, just watching me do it, wanting pets, but I don't notice her. And I'm like, oh, poor baby. This song takes me back as well because I used this in my show reel when I was at Animation University. What a waste of time that was. Having said that though, I wouldn't even nearly have the equipment I'd need to start streaming. Anyone who might be jealous of this, I'm gonna say it. The town, well, at least where I used to live, I guess, is getting a cat's cafe. And we're gonna go as soon as it opens. Because I want all those kitty cats to be petted.
Yes. I want to visit. I'm sure there's one in Manchester.
There is one in Manchester, my sister,
Right.
and I think Tasha's been. If Gina's still in the chat, can you confirm or deny that Tasha has been to the cat cafe in Manchester?
If I were a pirate, the first thing I'd do is...
Oh, if I were a pirate, the first thing I'd do is... tell my mum I love her.
Is to be a good time.
Is to be a good time.
Yeah, like that seems to be the one
I think
that
your
keeps
phone-
going for.
I think your phone is either really wanting to have fun or is horny.
My phone wants the best of luck and a good time, apparently. Your phone just wants you to get laid.
The ultimate wingman, your phone.
Send my old boss to work down the gangplank. So your phone is horny. Yes, apparently it is.
I thought you was on about the gangplank comment then. Like, what about that implies horniness? Is there an innuendo I don't know about?
People can lewd anything and everything.
That is
You
true.
should know that by now.
Okay, go. Hey, I walked him down the gangplank, if you know what I'm saying. Sex.
Sex. I mean, you could change the word gangplank into another word. Yes, you very easily could do that.
Gang member. See, that was easy. What do you think so far? In chat, what do you think so far of the drawing?
It looks really cool so far.
Oh, speaking of horny.
I'm currently harpooning a white whale as a pirate, says Judith.
Oh, she'll be playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Obviously referring to gang flower arranging, says EP.
Gang flower arranging.
He says he thinks the drawing is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Thank you. Horny music.
It is.
Yeah. Is it bad that I can pretty much remember all the times I've used these musics for the first time? I don't think I've got that much more of the chains to do. I've got this one, and then I've got this one. And then there's some that are on the back that you can't see. And then there's 2 on this arm. It's just...
Oh, Judith got her white whale. What are you playing?
She'll be playing Assassin's Creed, me reckons. The pirate one.
Yes, congrats on getting your white whale. Oh,
you know,
EP's off. Farewell all.
Bye-bye, EP.
See you, EP.
I would also hazard a guess and say that if it's a white whale, Judith just caught Moby Dick. I would guess. You turn it into Judith going, "Are you winning, Judith?" I don't know, actually. You think Kizzy can make it?
To the stream?
Yeah.
I don't think she's been online very much lately.
Oh yes, she's taken up the well, they've taken up the identity of a Mothman now, haven't they?
Oh yeah, that's why they've not been online.
I am the Mothman. So, Judith, if you are playing Assassin's Creed 4, do you like that guy more than Ezio? Or is he still your husbando? My future husband. Why, Lisa, why?
I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not.
How dare the insinuation?
How dare! I went to go see my mum. I went to go give some blood the other day, but I was going to arrive early, so I thought I'd pop in and see my mum. She's already gone to work, but the cat was just there, lying on the pillow on her bed, once again, in her angry loaf.
Aww. Judith says, I must admit he's growing on me, but no one can beat my baby.
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 Is it Judith who also calls people lovey?
Maybe?
Because someone has, not to me, but someone said lovey before, and I'm like, I swear I know someone else who says that. And I think it's Judith.
Mm.
Oh, here's a laugh for anyone who's in the chat. Aka's dad is trying to get us to get married.
They mentioned it once. I don't think they're trying to get us to get married.
No, your dad went, there's nothing stopping you two getting married. Just go into the office. Here's 50 quid. But you said you want to get married outdoors with a small group of people.
Yeah, I'd rather get married outdoors.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. Churches don't do it for me, especially with, like, I'm not Christian. So I'd just be doing it because it's traditional. And I'm not really a traditional person anyway, so...
I can't help but think this... Because it's us. Either one of us or someone we've invited will just let one go, hoping it's quiet, and then it just echoes throughout the church.
Yeah. Something would go. Something's definitely going to go wrong. It always
Something's
does
got to
on
give.
wedding days. I used to love watching like those bride shows where they all went into it.
Don't Tell the Bride.
Yeah, well, not just Don't Tell the Bride. Bridezilla's was the best one because it's like
Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
Nah, I wasn't that into that one. But it's sort of like there's these people who seriously think that everything is going to go perfectly.
No.
Not just that, but they always get really entitled and demanding of all of the bridesmaids and like all of the guests as well. And then when people say, yeah, no, I'm not coming to this, I can't afford it, you're asking for too much, they always throw a hissy fit because they don't understand.
Yeah.
I've called people that. Yeah, you call people Bridezilla.
Bridezilla. I've never asked my mum what her wedding was like.
Don't Tell the Bride, like, I did used to watch it a lot with my friend, but more often than not, rather than anyone throwing a hissy fit, it was always just kind of like, you can always see sort of an underlying sense of disappointment in the bride's face when they get to the wedding and they realise that their fiance either doesn't know them as well as they thought they did, or they've just gone with what they wanted.
Yeah.
Oh no, love. She calls people lovey. Yeah. There was this one episode I remember actually that was really, really sweet, and it was like, funny enough, it was like a really gothy couple, and the fiance got it spot on. And when she got there, she was like, "Oh my god, this is wonderful." He had the dress custom made for her. It was like he literally went above and beyond, and within budget.
Did you ever see the guy who made his wife's wedding dress for her?
No.
He was like documenting it so he could put it online. But whenever he'd have to try it on his wife, she'd always have to come in blindfolded. I can't help but think that if you were in that situation, you would at least try and peek.
Yeah, it's a show on like TLC or something. It's like a reality show where a couple will sort of like, they'll get, I think a lot of them go on it, to be honest, because the show pays for the wedding, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
Think so. You also have to be an arsehole, because if you're a nice couple, it doesn't make good telly.
Well, like I said, this one couple, like the more like gothy alternative one, they were lovely. Like,
yeah, but they would have been chosen because they're goth.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is sort of like feel like they got chosen because they're different, and quirky and stuff.
If you get a couple, you'd have to break it up. You get a couple that get along just so you can have like a nice way out of the series. Then you get a couple who don't get along for drama.
Well, no, there's never any like. As far as I remember, there wasn't actually any drama, or there wasn't a lot of drama. There was always just sort of like every so often the brides would just sort of get a bit disappointed. And like, but they never sort of made a big deal about it. It was more along the lines of like, I think once or twice one of them might have started crying if the husband got something that they really didn't like, and they were just kind of like, how does he not know that I wouldn't like this? But like more often than not, it was like they'd get to the wedding day and they'd be there like, oh yeah, it's lovely, like I'm so glad I let him do this, but like behind their eyes you can see that there's just sort of this underlying current of, oh my god, what am I doing here?
I have seen one show where the parents go away and they leave the kids in charge of redecorating the house. And it was only ever one episode I saw, and to be honest, probably only ever one episode ever made because it was shit. but they could everything, like the walls, the floors, some of the furniture, all turned to sweets.
Oh my god.
The chairs had been painted in chocolate. The floors had been they'd been layered with chocolate, and then things like Haribo hearts and fizzy cola bottles had been thrown into it, and then like set, and then like that clear stuff they put over it, not plastic, but the other thing that put on top of it to stop it rotting. And
you know what? Like, I feel a bit like if you're gonna give kids the leeway to do something like that, you should be expecting them to pull shit like this.
Mm-hmm. The one that pissed the mum off some at face, which also caused her to threaten her son with violence, was whenever because it was a fairly big house. Whenever it was tea time, she would ring a bell to let everyone know it's ready. So they changed it to not walkie-talkies, but like something else. You know, in films when they go, Mr. Robinson, there's a guy on line 4 for you.
Yeah.
It was one of those. And but they took the bell, they disarmed it near enough, took like the actual ringer out, and then covered that in chocolate and sent it to the parents while they were still away to let them know what's going on.
Oh my god.
And then
why was she just that like protective of this specific bell?
there might have been some sentimental value to the bells, just
I
everyone
see.
hated it because
Right.
that is possible. I'm not entirely sure. This was years ago when I saw it. But then they were showing, like, when the parents come back, just clips of them all like seeing a house and everything, and like, oh my god, what's happened, kind of thing. And then they showed them using the new messenger things, and the mum messages the son and goes, tea's ready, and the son goes, could you bring it up here please? And the mum went, you wait until these cameras have gone.
Oh no. Oof. Judith says, we used to have a phone thing that would let us call within the house, so everyone had their own landline phone and we'd call each other to say dinner is ready and stuff. I mean, I'd just shout up the stairs or something.
It was weird in my house because it kept changing every day.
I mean, my mum and dad, like, I grew up in a bungalow, so we were never really that far away from each other, and when
Going upstairs in a bungalow is a good trick.
No, I was talking about when I was at uni for that, because that was when I started cooking for other people, really. Mm-hmm. So that was when I would have had to shout, like, dinner
pasta
ready.
And risotto.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I don't know, I've never been in a house that's been big enough that people wouldn't hear you if you just shouted into another room.
Mm-hmm. Well, for us, sometimes my mum would shout, but with my sister being my sister, she'd have her headphones on playing something,
okay.
So I'd go down and get mine, and then I would have to bring hers up or tell her that it's ready.
Okay.
And then other times my mum would ring me, other times she would text me.
I guess maybe you didn't hear her for whatever reason those times.
Other times she would text my sister, who then instant messages me.
What,
and I'm
so,
like, Mum, you're one floor below me and my room is above yours. I hear you every time you sneeze.
Your mum, I can understand a little bit, sort of, well, that's a bit weird, but what I mean is, like, your sister texting you that dinner's ready, as in other words, dinner's ready, come and get mine too.
Oh no, she never said get mine too.
Right, okay.
Because if she knew, she would go get it. If she heard my mum, she'd go get it.
Right, okay.
But more often than not, she didn't, because she had her headphones on.
And we could also put... Ours wasn't big enough for that either, we were just lazy. And we could also
Can
put...
you find some free music on YouTube to play,
Sure.
please?
What kind of music?
Royalty free is a good start.
Yeah, but what kind of music?
I don't know. Has anyone got any requests? Nothing illegal though.
And we could also put someone through the other line, so if I'd be in my room and someone would phone for me, my mum would pick up and then put them through to me. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Your mum became a secretary. I once saw a skit by a college humour, which was like about all the ridiculous sexy costumes that come out at Halloween time.
Yeah.
And it starts off what you'd expect, like sexy nurse, sexy policeman, sexy fireman, sexy doctor, and things like that. And then it starts going to things like sexy construction worker, sexy ice cream person, sexy psychiatrist.
Did you know that, well,
No.
you probably did know this actually, but I never thought about it before. In other countries, well, I think in America and like some other countries, lollipop people are known as crossing guards.
Yeah?
And like, I didn't know that. But
Are you
like,
picturing Heimdall?
No, they all thought that they all think we're weird for calling them lollipop people. And I'm just like, but why are they?
It does sound odd, though.
I suppose so, but I'm also just kind of like, what are they guarding you from? They're guarding
Yourself.
you as you cross the road.
Judith, what do you call lollipop people?
I know I always go say lollipop ladies.
Well, it was always, for me, when I was in primary
Yeah.
school, it was always a lady, and I only ever saw a man once, and he was very camp when he did it. But
That's the funny thing is, like, I feel like the stereotype is lollipop lady, but in my
and dinner lady.
at my high school, it was always a man. He was really sweet as well. Like, I spoke to him a couple of times. He was really nice.
The gay guy I saw doing it once acted like he was in a pantomime.
Miss Snowflake.
That's not music. That's Piers Morgan.
I'm reading art. And it's
Piers Morgan just calling somebody a snowflake.
It was an advert. You are weird for calling them lollipop people. In Dutch, directly translated, it would be ready overs.
Ready overs.
Ready overs.
Wow. You turn it down a little bit. It's going to bleed into the mic. Yeah. How's it look?
It looks really cool.
I think... Well, I can have more details when I get into the inking stage, but for now, it is time to finish the boat.
The boat?
Boat. Judith, I need to ask you this because I have mentioned it to some people, and I know Kizzy will be one of the people that gets angry about this. Chips, cheese and gravy. Do you like it? Or can you even have it in Dutchland? Was it you that was telling me the story about a radio DJ who went to France and said he wanted to get a bacon balm, but they didn't know what he meant, so they were just like putting like lettuce and cucumber on it. He's like, no, just bacon.
Yeah.
You need to come visit us as well, Judith, so we can take you places like the Cat Cafe. Oh, hang on, we just lost connection.
No? I think it was just a notification.
Yeah, that was the noise I heard. I'm like, that could be OBS disconnecting.
And then when they'd stop traffic, they'd say, ready cross. Please keep gravy away from chips. Though if I'm honest, most chips in England from chip shops are gross to me anyway. How dare you?
Blast for fucking me! A chippy tea is one of the best things in the world. Shameful, Judith. Shameful. You're also outnumbered here. Everyone in the Discord is going to be angry at you for that. Although, if you do come and visit us, we will take you to Mr. Bazrai's, the World Buffet. Where you can put, like I did, udon noodles in Yorkshire puddings.
Hey, I love chips, just not them soggy ones. I feel like you had a bad experience with chips and that has tainted your view of all of them.
Yeah. If only the one that we really like delivers to us. What about cheese on chips then, Judith? Would you eat that? We also tried Lulu on kidney beans, I think the last time we had her around, and Akka spoilt her by putting cheese on it, and she only ate the cheese. I know no one here watches Critical Role, but did you hear the joke that Liam's character made?
No? I
So-
don't remember.
So you know the part where they're fighting all the animated objects that have come to life, and one of them's a rug?
Yeah.
He looks down at the rug after the fight, see it torn up, and he goes, "Really held the room together."
I like the ones where they have at Weatherspoons. Yeah, those are good. I like the ones at Weatherspoons. And yeah, I'd have cheese on chips, but it depends on the kind of cheese and on the texture and how much and stuff.
Oh, I never posted those pictures of the pizza pockets I made,
Oh, did you not?
or the pocket pizzas.
Post them later.
I just forgot about them, but I probably make some people jealous with food I made. Went down very well, thankfully.
Mhm. They were really, really good.
You had pesto instead of
I really liked that. Yeah. I'll have to try the barbecue one at some point as well.
yeah. Well, we've still got a slice of cheese left. You can do it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Okay, I think we're almost done with the pencil bit, and then I can scan it in, and we can try out my new pens. Yay.
Yay. The word buffet sounds wonderful though.
It does. Buffet, such a beautiful word. Your mum telling me that story about like the vegetarian buffet and they got no vegetarian food for whatever it was.
That it was my 18th birthday party, or was it my 16th? I think it was my 16th. Yeah, they said to my mum, okay, give us a list of all the buffet food you'd like us to get and we'll do our best to get all of it in. So she asked me, I asked a few of my friends, the majority of the list was vegetarian food, which should have, you know, maybe sort of
nudge.
hinted at them. There were like one or two things like, you know, ham sandwiches and stuff like that, because I knew obviously not everyone coming is going to be vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out that that specific pub had like a deal with this meat supplier, so they got meat really, really cheap. So they basically ignored the list and put on an entirely meat buffet.
Probably was just assuming it's going to be things that a lot of people get regularly, and then they ordered it all, then got the list and went, oh shit.
Yeah, but like they didn't tell. The thing is though, my mum offered to make the buffet herself, and like they had.
Your mum's a trooper.
Yeah, she is. They had plenty of time to sort of look at that list and go, yeah, we're really sorry, but we can't actually get these things. We weren't expecting this. And she would have been like, okay, that's fine, I'll sort it. But they didn't. They just said, yeah, it's fine, we'll get it all sorted for you. And then on the day, they just had all meat on the table. And even then, it was like, I don't even remember fully what it was, but I think even then it was pretty shit, to be honest. It was mostly just like a few sandwiches and like some sausage rolls. So I got kind of upset, obviously, because I was like, I can't eat any of this. Apparently one of my aunts was vegetarian at the time, and she had like a single slice of pizza. Oh yeah, they called out for pizza.
That was it, yeah.
They either went out, sent someone out, or they called out for pizza, and they got like 2 pizzas delivered, 2 like margarita pizzas for a full party of people.
And they vanished super quick, didn't
Yeah,
they? Pretty much as soon as you
exactly.
opened the box, they vanished.
Well, yeah, because they wouldn't have wanted to spend money on it, because it was like they were obviously getting paid for us having like the party there and for the buffet, and like then we weren't happy with the buffet, so they had to sort of fork out extra.
Mm-hmm.
Gina said sorry she's late, and that looked really awesome.
Thank you. We get to ink it in a minute though, Gina, so that'll be interesting because I'm using new pens. New pens. And how are you doing, Gina? How did your stream go? Also, from last night, I feel a lot better. So for those of you who don't know, we had some friends around, we were playing D&D last night. And I was going to have a bottle of Sneak, which is that supposedly healthy energy drink. Now, I have a tub of it, and you're supposed to put 1 scoop into the cup. The issue is, I put 2 scoops in, because in my head, I was thinking of how Akka likes her tea, and she has 2 sugars. So, which then caused muscle memory to kick in, and I put 2 scoops into this Sneak, and I'm like, oh shit, well it should be okay, because it says you're not allowed to drink more than 2 a day, so if I drink 2 at once, I'm still under the limit. I was suffering with so much anxiety that night.
Says we weren't streaming today, we went to a Halloween party. What did you go as? Is the question.
Wait. Oh, I must have confused it for your old channel then. Okay, right. So that's the right way up, isn't it, babe? On the screen.
Mhm.
Right. So there it is, in pencil form. I'm gonna scan it in now, bring it back, and we'll start inking it. Where's that stain come from? You are the deer today.
We were all Mario characters. I was Wario. That's amazing.
Wario.
You got any pictures?
What? Oh, yeah. Wah. Yeah, pictures or it didn't happen.
I'm looking on the DTG Discord.
Oh no, it'll be an NG plus
Oh.
because Nathan and Gina left.
Oh yeah. Am I in NG Plus?
I don't think you are.
They'll send me a link to it. Oh yeah.
Gina, send link. Have your future wife.
Oh, she'll put them on our Discord.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, send me a link to the NG Plus one as well.
Your future wife misses you.
To be fair, I never really talk in the gaming Discords anyway. I'm like
I don't really
silent.
talk. It's like, I have nothing to say. And especially Nathan and Gina's, it's like, I have nothing to say that's PG.
You really don't,
I
actually,
really don't.
do you?
She says, we'll do heart and 1 sec. Come on, load. No. Alright. It's either not plugged in properly or it doesn't want to use the multi-tap. Because he's a fussy prick.
I'm kind of hungry. I might make something to eat. Do you want anything?
No, thank you. Be careful though. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull. Ooh, nearly pulled the wrong one out then. We would have lost sound, and that would have been fantastic. Fucking draft. There we go. Okay, it's working now. Giving it a scan. Be ready in a minute. Or 7. And complete. Alright, coming back round now. She sent you the things. Alright then. So, Judith, Gina, it's time to use my brand new pens. So these pens, I can't see the chat by the way when I'm drawing. I'm relying on Akka for that. So I apologise if I ignore you. But these are the new pens I've got. I'm really excited to try because these are supposed to be suitable for calligraphy. And they're all in different sizes, so I'm going to have to take them all off one by one, see what we get. You may. Alright, so we've got... Well, they're all written in Japanese or Chinese or whatever that is, so... I'm going to struggle a bit with this, I reckon. Oh, wait, no. I think it's got a picture of the... No. Unless they're all the same pen. Hold on. Brush. Brush. Yes, they are different headed. Well, I'll use this one first, I think. That one's got a thick head on it, so I can use the darkest shadows for that. That's got a thick head on it too. That's a fine head. And that's... Ooh, I think that one's thicker. Right, we'll use this one. And that should help us with the darkest shadows. They feel nicer to use, but I'm not entirely sure the ink is taking to the paper well. It could also be because I'm using ink on top of pencil, which could be affecting how well it's applied. Has the chat said anything, babe?
Judith says, yay, new pens are the best.
New pen! Akka thinks it's cute how excited I get over kitchenware.
It is. He gets so excited over it.
Are you going to have cereal with yogurt for milk?
Could. I think the yogurt might have gone off now. It's been on for a while. it?
30th.
Yeah. Not chancing. Might just finish off with sweet potato fries.
Sweet potato fries.
But you don't like them anyway.
I don't know. You were surprised to find out I don't.
I was. Yeah, I didn't know of anyone who didn't like sweet potato fries before you.
I am an enigma, an anomaly.
Oh.
This is where I'm going to get told off by the chat going, how can you not like sweet potato fries?
Sweet potato fries are great.
They're probably great if you like them, which I don't. Okay, right. Do the mouth a little bit.
Ooh, I'm falling over.
You just kicked Dover's vivarium.
No, I kicked your printer.
Ah.
I was having a look at her vivarium.
Oh, Akka, the other night, right? She did the stern mother hand on hips pose at the snake.
Yeah, because she keeps... Like, she didn't do it last time, which is saying to me that we've put the probe in the wrong place.
You've put the probe in the wrong place.
I put the probe in the wrong place. And she keeps lying on it, which makes the bulb think that it's not hot enough, which obviously makes it get hotter. And if she stays on it too long, we risk her getting, like, burnt or something from it. I mean... It's probably really unlikely that would happen. She'd probably move before then, but I'm still just like, I'm being a bit of a mum about it.
Yeah, you've turned into such a mom when it comes to the snake.
I have.
Oh, speaking of mothers, Gina, her little one went to Halloween karate today as a vampire.
Halloween karate.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, and how's this sweets this, right? One time it was Nathan streaming with Gina's daughter. Well, it's their daughter, but Lily streaming with her. And I was saying, you two should play Stardew. And she goes, what's Stardew? So I say, oh, it's a farming game, but you can also... But because it's Lily, I'm saying, oh, I'll say things that she'll get excited about. So it's like you can raise dinosaurs and you can fight monsters and you can get married. And she went, get married?
That was the thing she got excited about. Judith wants to know why you call pens and pens the same. To her, a pen is a ballpoint or something. Nathan agrees with you about sweet potato. He says it's nasty. And he said, I've just realised that the monster is pulling a ship. That's pretty cool.
Who said that?
I'm assuming it's Nathan, because when Gina popped up, she was on a different account. And this is just NG Plus Live.
But yes, whoever it was that said that, Nathan, this is a ghost ship.
Yeah,
It's inspired by a ride that was at Disney World. They only used it once because they're pretty sure it cursed the ride afterwards.
It cursed the ride.
So there was a ride which was a riverboat tour, and there was 2 boats on it. I can't remember what the first one was called, but the second one, Mary Lou or something like that, and then the second one was called the Mark Twain. And at Halloween, they built this cast of a phantom which would pull it for Halloween. Well, pull it. It's all on a rail, so it looked like it. But then after a derailing, they decided to not do it. But then after that, the Mary Lou caught on fire and took damage to the engine while people were on it. They're all right, managed to get off, but it caught fire. And then the Mark Twain was the only one available. And then one day when they were using it to break ice in the winter, it got stuck and they tore the entire bottom half of the boat off.
Ooh.
So rather than fix them up... Oh no, I think they fixed up the Mark Twain, which then also caught fire or something like that. So they've just left them to rot and then they built a barn on top of them.
Wow. Nathan says this is the only Twitch account I use now.
Oh, okay.
Is this why you've been watching so many animatronic videos lately?
I'm getting ideas from them, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, anyone who doesn't know this, anyone who doesn't know this, there's a video series I've been watching at the minute called Submechanophobia, where they look at animatronics, and in Submechanophobia, they look at ones that work under the water. And it's just interesting to see what there is in the world. And me and Aka have seen a few, and then we've seen Rise, and we're like, I want to go. Was there one that caught your eye that you really wanted to go to?
I think there might have been one or two, but I don't remember what they were now. I feel like it must have been one of the Jurassic Park ones.
Yeah.
It must have
been. Oh wait, wasn't it because now the Indoraptor and Indorex have been put in there?
No, I thought that was cool, but like I'm not actually all that fussed about Jurassic World compared to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, World's not.
No,
right.
Actually, it was the Jurassic World ride because I liked the Mosasaur bit. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even an animatronic, but I just thought that was really cool.
It is cool though, yeah.
Like for me, I don't know. I don't think the hybrids are anywhere near as cool as the like T-Rex or the original Velociraptors.
I still think it's stupid, like you pointed out, that people are getting bored of dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's like the idea, the reason they create the hybrids, it sort of comes from like a really stupid place because people aren't going to get bored of dinosaurs.
Not for generations and generations to come.
I mean, are people bored of normal animals in zoos and wildlife parks yet?
Well, yes and no.
Well, I wouldn't say so because I feel a bit like, okay, as you grow up, some people might get bored, but you're always going to have like newer generations
that
like
will want the things,
Yeah, that will want to go round and look at the animals.
Thing is though, we took Phoenix and he kept saying everything was boring. You were having more fun than he was.
That's fair, actually. Like, but I feel like kids are a bit odd like that. When it got to animals he liked, he was kind of entranced by them. Like the elephants.
He liked the elephants and he liked the dinosaurs.
And the giraffes. Like, it was ones like the camels that he thought were boring.
Yeah.
But thing is, like, people still go to zoos and wildlife parks. I don't really think that as an industry it's struggling, to be honest. Like, I don't think they're struggling to bring people in as a whole. You might get one or two that are, but I don't know. I still think the industry for that is probably pretty solid in regards to bringing guests in.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit like, with something like Jurassic Park, where one company has the monopoly on it, I can't see how people would ever get bored of it.
Another thing could be that, I know we're probably looking too much into this now, but...
There's no such thing.
Yeah, it's true. Overanalyzing is fun. It could be that people are just bored of trying to get in.
To be honest, I don't even think it's just that. I feel like it's just a really pessimistic view of humans. Like,
well, there's good reason to be pessimistic of humans.
Yeah, there is, but it's sort of like, that's one of those ones that I just don't agree with. Like, it's the idea that, like, it comes up again with, like, one of the main characters, like, that teenage boy is just constantly on his phone, he just doesn't give a shit.
Oh god, yeah,
like,
such a punch, that guy.
I feel like the reason they've included that character coupled with the plot line that people are getting bored of dinosaurs, I feel like they're sort of like trying to spread this message that people spend too much time on their phones and shit, and like it's such an old-fashioned point of view, though.
I did hear that in American Dad once. So like, you're playing a game, and a guy he doesn't really game or go on computers because he like goes outdoors a lot, and he goes, "Don't you worry, you're wasting your real life playing this virtual life." And he turns around and goes, "Yeah, but here's the thing, reality sucks."
It's not just that, but it's like, just because one person doesn't think gaming or talking to people online is a worthwhile activity doesn't mean that that's the truth for everyone.
Yeah, time fun is not time wasted.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, that's why I just think it's such a pessimistic view. Like, the film itself just comes from like a really pessimistic place. I don't know, that's my take on it anyway.
And then the second,
the second one's just dumb.
Well, we're talking about the new trilogy, but the fifth one now is just them saying, don't let a stupid as fuck child access a computer to let all the dinosaurs out and push the buttons in the wrong order so you could empty the gas first and save them.
Honestly, like, I think I'd like the Jurassic World movies more if they just stopped trying to put plot in and they just went, here's an hour and a half of some dinosaurs. Because, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I don't like them. I really enjoyed them. But it's because of things like the Mosasaur and the Pterosaurs and because of Blue.
The cartoonish Indoraptor.
Oh, it's so funny. Like, the fact that it acts like a fucking serial killer. It's so stupid. But yeah, like, I really enjoy them, but they don't stand up to, like, the original movie, obviously.
Not even close.
They don't even stand up to, like, the sequel.
Because there's heart in the original.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing that I would put on par with the, maybe the second Jurassic Park movie is Blue. Blue is fantastic.
Blue. The surviving Velociraptor.
I love her. She's great. Like, they made a good choice when they thought, right, we're gonna actually make a dinosaur a recurring character. I don't know why they'd not done that before.
Rexy.
I mean, Rexy, yeah, but it's a different Rex each time. It's not the same one. Alright, Judith's off to bed now. Have a good night.
Night, Judith. Thanks for coming. Is anyone else intrigued by our Jurassic Park rant?
No one cares about the Jurassic Park bollocks that we're going on about. Okay, Harry she agrees with me apparently. It's
Who does?
Good to know. Judith.
So, with these pens, they look good, but I don't think I'll get a good idea until they've been scanned. It looks like the ink's going on fine. The issue I have with my other pens, though, is that when you scan it, sometimes there's parts of the drawing where it's not thick enough, so it gets paler. It doesn't matter too much when you do the digital colouring, but it's like, well, I would like it to be of a better quality when it gets scanned in. But it's just trying to find the right pens to do it.
I think it
Or
looks
maybe
really
I'm
good
just,
so
it's
far.
something I'm doing as well.
I don't think so. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, thank you, but...
To be honest, like, you're probably asking the wrong person because, like, I know there's like different widths of pens and pencils, but I've never really been able to really wrap my head around when to use which ones exactly.
Well, I'm still trying to figure it out, but what I'm on about is like the application of the ink.
Like I'm more of a digital artist.
We know. Everyone in the Discord has seen and loved. I might be able to put this thick one down in a minute and start pulling out my thinner ones.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got a slight announcement to make in that we are wanting to get back to Stardew, but we're also going to try and start one called Sunhaven, which is like Stardew but with more magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know, to be honest, because Stardew's got a lot of magic anyway.
Yeah, but there's a bigger emphasis on.
Okay, more emphasis on magic.
Yeah. Like summoning rain clouds to water the crops.
Right, okay. So you can cast magic.
We all can.
Okay. 'Cause
Everyone who will be involved will be able to cast magic.
Okay.
It just depends whether or not you build yourself that way. And just a little bit under here. Alright, here's a random question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless as to where it's come from, what's the worst drawing advice you've gotten?
I'm really racking my brain about this one. It wasn't me and it wasn't drawing advice, but I think the worst piece of art advice I've ever had a teacher give was in college. One of my friends was trying to do this painting, and
I think you've told me this.
yeah,
story.
I think I might have done. And the teacher basically said to her, turn it into a mold, a mold so that you can print with it. So she did, because she wanted to pass. She didn't like the idea, but she went with it, and then she failed. She failed the fucking course because she went with what the teacher told her to do. And like, I don't feel like I can be proud of much in my life, but like, I was pretty much one of the only students in that class who would argue with the teacher and say, no, I don't like the sound of that, and I got the highest grade in that class.
I will tell you though,
really shit.
anyone at home, if you're going to or planning to go to into further education for art, the teachers are cunts.
Yeah, I would say, like, from my experience, don't be afraid to argue a little bit with the teacher. Not to a point where you're being a dick, but don't be afraid to say to your teacher, I
Politely
don't like...
disagree.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say, I don't like this idea, or you're changing it too much from what I want, or something like that. Like, don't think you have to go along with everything the art teacher says, because art at the end of the day is incredibly subjective.
Mm-hmm.
think of like any bad advice I have personally gotten before.
It was always the same advice I got.
What was it?
Well, first it was draw every day. That achieves nothing. Because if no one's telling you what's wrong with your drawing and you're drawing every day, you're just doing it wrong every day.
No, but I feel like you get used to like ways to hold it, what to do and stuff. So I think like that I can sort of see. I see where you're coming from, but I still think like drawing every day is going to benefit you more than it's going to be a detriment. I don't have it in me to draw every day though.
The other thing that really annoyed me, and this happens all the fucking time in college, I can't paint. I'm not being negative, I can't paint. But I would go up with a piece and I would go up to my art tutors and go, alright, I've got this idea, I'm thinking of doing it in charcoal or pencil, and they'll go, do it in paint. But I can't paint. No, stop being so hard on yourself. I'm not being hard on myself. I can't paint. No, do it in paint. I believe in you. And I do it in paint. Turn horrible, and they go, it was a bad idea to do it in paint, wasn't it? I never failed, but fuck, I was pissed off whenever they'd say it was wrong.
This was my experience with art teachers, is they never want to admit that they're the ones that are wrong when they give you bad advice.
Yep.
And also, like, people put way too... Like, no offence to painters, they do amazing work, like a lot of them, but I feel like people look at painting as though it's like like as though it like sits on top of all other art, like it's so much better than everything else could possibly ever be. And I feel like that's unfair, because it's just kind of like, especially like digital artists get shit on so much because like it's not traditional art and stuff like that, you're cheating. But not even just that, like you talking about charcoal and pencils and stuff, people look at that as though it's like unfinished art because it's not painted, it's not in colour, and I think that's so unfair.
It is.
Oh, we're in the red, we're in the yellow, we're in the green.
Yeah, it's probably going to bounce up and down.
I didn't notice it till now. Every time I've looked
Well,
over,
apparently
it's been
we've
green.
lost 3% of our frames the entire time we've been streaming, which isn't a lot, and it's nothing to worry about. But that was when I looked. Okay, right, so that's a few thick lines done, and some dark shadow. Oh no, there's one here I need to do. And then I'm going to pull out one of my thinner ones and see how well that goes.
Vaughn's shared a meme to the D&D group that I can't comment on it because I don't know enough about rappers to get it.
Let me see.
I'm assuming he's talking about like people getting tattoos on their face or something.
Yeah.
Like, I literally don't
There
know
are
anything
some
about
rappers you get now who have got a stupid amount of tattoos everywhere.
Okay.
But back in when we were in college or in high school or whatever, that's what you'd do to piss somebody off when they passed out at a party.
You know what? It's not technically advice I was given, but I feel like probably the worst advice I have followed is from... Have you ever told you why I don't like how to draw manga books?
Because it's Western?
Not just that, but it's sort of like they're usually made by Western artists that think that they know more about anime than like people who actually make
the people who
anime.
Where it originated from.
Yeah, it's like there are some really, really bad ones out there. Like you can look them up, and like they make a load of money. Well, they did back in the day anyway, before anime was like super mainstream. I suppose that was because like they were the only place you could get them sort of in the UK and in the US. Like, you couldn't really get, like, Japanese artists selling how to draw manga books.
I've got one that says drawing manga for dummies.
But it's just like, I remember some of them when I was younger, like, I had a few of them, and it was sort of like some of the advice in them now, like especially trying to translate that into non-anime and manga styles, so more sort of like Western or more generic cartoon art styles.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the advice was awful if you sort of take it on as a Western artist. I mean, like, sort of like the pointed chins and stuff like that. Like, I spent far too long continuing to draw pointed chins because it was what I had learned from those books.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I have vivid memories of my mum on multiple times saying like, it looks really good, but do you need to make the chin so pointy? And at the time I was like, oh, shut up, mum, you don't know anything. But
Shut up, mum!
Now I'm looking back on it and I'm like, I should have listened to her. That woman knew what was up.
And she doesn't even like anime.
Like, nothing against Westerners who draw in a more anime style, but it's just I was trying to make that work with, like, you know, whilst making my own style, in other words. And it wasn't happening.
So I'm trying out one of the thinner heads now. And this isn't like the brush, it doesn't bend when I put it down. But I think I have got... Well, there's 6 pens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're in... 3 of them are the same size, and then 3 of them are a different size.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't what I was expecting. I'm still going to try though and see what I can do with them.
I suppose, like, if you end up using them a lot, at least you're not going to run out for a while.
I've still got my old ones.
Mm.
It's just that there's more heads available on those.
Gina says that looks even better all linked up.
Yeah, I always get scared at the ink bit though, because you make a mistake, it's shit!
Yep.
But then sometimes you ink something and it doesn't look better. I have got one drawing which was a practice sketch of me, a guy who was a new model, and I was trying to get the chest right and it looked really good. And I started like inking the armpit and I'm like, I need to stop, it's going to ruin the entire thing. Because the way I'd shade it had been done so well. I've never been able to achieve that again though, which is annoying.
Have you started, like, scanning in your sketches?
Yeah?
I was going to say, because, like, I've heard so...
You've seen them?
Yeah, I know, but I've seen your inked ones. I mean, like, scanning it in before you ink it.
Yeah, that's what I do every time.
Alright.
I've been working on this series. I do the pencil, scan it in, and then I do the ink, scan it in.
You know, I have the memory of a goldfish. Because it's just like, if you mess up on the inking, at least you can always just print it off.
Yeah.
Although then you can't really rub out the guidelines, that must be irritating. You know, like, whenever I do actually draw in my sketchbook traditionally, if I do something wrong, there's always a part of my brain that's like...
Control Z, yeah.
Control Z.
One time I was drawing and I had Lulu on my knee and my left hand was stroking her and playing with her ears. And I made a mistake. I clicked her ears to do Control Z. How are the cats, Gina? The things that hate any and all.
I'm really sorry if you guys are getting some, like, light food ASMR right now. I'll try and be quiet.
I don't think they can hear you from there. But Mike is a fucker for it. Chews down the microphone on the Xbox.
Oh my god.
And Finn will know this. I go from 0 to 100 when someone is chewing in my ear. I was talking to someone in one of the Discords we're in, and we were talking about like how quickly people can lose their tempers and what the factors are for people losing their tempers, and I was explaining some of my factors, and I went, well, sometimes I can just get really annoyed. Other times, I immediately start with the nuclear option. And I said sometimes it depends what or who has pissed me off, but it's very rarely a who that makes me go to the nuclear option. Though there have been people.
You know, for a while I thought my work probably made me more patient, but I can't actually tell if it's had the opposite effect. Like, I can't actually tell if I've got less patient over time. Because I feel like I'm more highly strung than I used to be.
I felt that as well. When I was in college, I was high strung at first, and then I got more relaxed as they were helping me into it. And then I think ever since I have left university and then gotten some jobs, I've become even more high strung because they just demand that you never make a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, it was annoying to me because, like, even in college and uni, they would say to us, right, don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's all about learning. It's all about exploring. It's all about finding what you do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to love paying $9,000 for every mistake I make.
Look at it this way, like, this always makes me laugh about, like, art courses and art colleges and stuff. Like, you're probably never going to be making enough as an artist to pay back your student loan.
I know, because I was one of those idiots that bought into the Saturday morning cartoon logic of believing you can achieve. Because that's all my teacher would say to me. You've got a bright future, Zach. You're smart. You're gonna get far. And here I am.
Was that your college or high school teachers? Because I know, like...
That was my college and my high school teachers.
Right, because I know you've told me your university teachers were, like, the opposite.
Oh yeah, they told us that we had no future. They all sat us in a room and went, right, you're all fucked. No one's gonna want to hire you. Oh, but don't worry. Everyone who's been to this uni's gotten a job. Mixed messages, but then...
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, how did they keep people on the course?
Because they fine you if you criticise the course. They would fine you 50 quid for every time you criticise the course.
You could just leave, though.
Yeah, and then I'd have to pay another $9,000 to get into another uni, assuming they would want me in the first place. I was turned down from my first uni. The one I went to was my second choice.
Ah, okay. But I'm still just kind of surprised. I understand, like, that would be an issue for a lot of people, but you will always still get people who come from families that don't really care, so I'm kind of surprised they still didn't have quite a few people leaving if they were saying stuff like that. Because people on my course would have definitely left. Like, quite a few actually left when they got it in their heads that it wasn't really going anywhere for them.
Mm-hmm. It's even worse when they had, like, the guest speakers come in.
Oh, yeah.
And basically each guest speaker, when I was having one at my uni, they were just going, I'm successful, you're not. And I'm having a great life making shows for the CBBC and all the times I've worked for Disney. I love it. How do you get to that? Well, it's probably not going to happen. That was pretty much the premise of every speech they gave us.
Like, our guest speakers were usually pretty good, but it was all, like, they weren't nasty, but they were quite realistic. Like, a lot of them would say, like, look, I personally would advise against going and working in the industry because
We got told that a lot.
yeah, like because in big companies, like they'll take you on as a freelance artist because they won't want to like pay for you to be an actual employee. You won't get all the benefits for it. And if they don't, and like they could commission you for a piece of work for like say a magazine or something. This was actually something that happened to one of the guest speakers that came in. This big company was producing like a magazine. They commissioned her for an entire comic. She did it all, sent it in, and then didn't get paid because they decided not to use it. And it's just like at that point she's done the work, so she should have gotten paid, but because of like whatever legalities, things went in the favour of this company. Which is like, and apparently stuff like that happens a lot in the industry. So a lot of them were coming in and saying, yeah, don't do the industry work, just go for freelance stuff. Which I'm like, I tried, and this isn't like me saying it's hopeless for everyone. It's just
I'll say that it's hopeless for anyone who goes to uni to try and get a future, unless you know somebody who's in the business, are related to someone who's in the business, or are sleeping your way to the top.
See, I feel like that's different in regards to like freelance stuff and indie stuff, because like we know a lot of like animators and comic artists can make it just online now if they get noticed.
Big if.
The thing is with me and freelance art is because of like my mental health issues, I can't continuously update and upload things. So I can't be regular enough to be good at it. Like, I can't be regular enough to get a following, even if I did get noticed.
The only way you're going to be successful nowadays is if you're willing to take your clothes off.
I mean, I'm not quite as pessimistic as Zach is about it.
Right, someone else said something.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, you see people like Vivzy Pop and stuff who every so often, like, a completely indie creator will just pop up out of nowhere.
But Vivzy won't have just popped up out of nowhere. Vivzy would have found a way to get into the industry, even if it was small time, and then she's made connections. She started her own thing, and then those connections have helped her grow.
Yeah, you could be right. Like, all I know is that I found her through her Zoophobia comic originally. I think it was called Zoophobia. So, like, I know that...
how did you find the Zoophobia comic?
I don't even remember, to be honest. It wasn't through her... It wasn't actually through, like, her being a big name or anything. Like, this was before Has Been Hotel came out, like, a couple years before that. I just stumbled across it at some point, and I did really enjoy it when I was reading it. Like, I don't know fully, like, if she did know people in the industry before she got big, but what I'm saying is, like, every so often you will see, like, an indie creator pop up and just get, like, just...
I can guarantee you what's happened with Vivzy is that she's either gotten a job in the industry, she's been lucky enough to get her foot in the door, and then those connections she's made have helped her grow, or she's helped somebody who's in the industry.
Maybe.
And then as they thank you, they've gone, I'm going to help you out because you helped me.
Possibly. It's like, even then you can go on to Tapastic and like Tapastic's a comic reading website. See, this is the thing, like, you're coming at this from like you don't really read a lot of indie comics and stuff, and you don't really, like, so it's sort of like, when I'm saying this stuff, you don't see it. Like, you could go on to Tapastic or, like, another, like, indie comic website, and a lot of, like, the ones on the main page, like, well, in fact, pretty much the entirety of the user base is just people that have just started making their own comics at some point, and some of them will be, like, artists that are known out of that website because they've got big from that.
But how many?
Quite a few, like, let's see, I can't name them because they're porn artists.
But Mr. Dave.
I'm trying to
I like how you started with that one. I went, name an artist, and your first one was lewd.
Well, it was because they've actually been...
Drama?
No, they've been doing the rounds recently. And, like, I could say one thing and you would know exactly who I was on about.
Go on.
Anchor.
Who?
Animal Crossing.
Ah,
Yeah. Like...
Zone Tan.
Yeah. I wasn't sure, like, should I just name drop a porn artist?
I think
don't
you
know.
can drop a name on Twitch.
But yeah, Zone, like, the artist who does Zone Tan actually does have a couple of safe for work, arguably safe for work.
Risque.
Yeah, they're risque. They're not anything like super bad, but like it's dark comedy, I suppose. Like it's not really the porn aspect of it. It's
That
just
video you showed me. Why
dark.
didn't we spell coming like coming? Because we're better than that.
But yeah, like Zone has a couple of
Oh,
quite whoops.
if you can hear that beeping, the snake's just come out of her hide and she's sat on the thermometer again.
But yeah, the artist who does Zone has a couple of popular webcomics, and I actually found those before I knew about them as like an animator and knew about Zone.
Mm-hmm. Is she married or dating the tentacle monster?
I don't know. I think it's like a friends with benefits situation, but I could be wrong. There's this one I remember, but I don't remember the name of it, and it's essentially like it got really big, like to the point where this artist does have like a merch store, and like I think I have seen this character referenced outside of Tapastic. But the premise of it is that the main character is like the daughter of the ghost from The Ring. And she's really sweet. Like, it's actually a really wholesome comic where she just kind of goes out and makes friends with people. But she has, like, all these weird little ghost powers. Like, she can make things levitate and, like, haunt people. And it's just, like, a little comedy comic about her. But I have seen that character referenced outside of Tapastic. So it's like... people can definitely make it out.
I think the fact they're also a pornography artist has helped there.
No, that's a different comic artist.
Oh.
God, I'd really hoped that it wasn't Zone who was drawing that one.
Has anyone said anything? Or are they just listening to us be mad at the world?
Yeah, I think they're just listening to us. Well, you're being mad at the world. I'm trying to convince you things aren't actually that bleak.
I'm just realistic. You haven't lost that spark of hope yet.
It's still there. It's still hanging on.
I lost mine. Well, I was always on the edge of losing mine, and then when basically the people who were supposed to be teaching me these skills basically said, "You're shit."
My thing is, like, I don't think I can make it, but I don't think it's hopeless for everyone else.
Only if you're in the right conditions.
Yeah, right conditions, because I mean, like I
But
said...
it just hurts knowing that your efforts will just be for nothing.
Like I said, I think the reason I wouldn't be able to make it is because my mental health gets in the way. So it's like... I mean, that just poses an issue for, like, the majority of things. If you have mental health problems, they kind of get in the way of everything.
They do. Fuck, they do. Be great if you could just wave a magic wand and say, I'm all better, but that's not life. And it never will be.
I kind of want to show you Zone's comics now because they're actually really fun. Like, I think the one I got really into, I think they actually ended up just stopping that one after it didn't end. It was just sort of like they just stopped making it. But the premise of it was that they were in like this really terrible city where like a bunch of like seedy characters live and horrible things are always happening, and it's like the main character's just this girl who like lives in this apartment, but her housemate is a tentacle monster.
What was that accidental Disney film we came up with the Cleric and the Frog?
Oh, the Cleric and the Frog.
We're playing D&D, and I just said the Cleric and the Frog because you had transformed into a frog as a druid. And Mike went, oh, that sounds like a Disney film.
I was technically a giant toad, it's just frog sounded funny.
Ribbit. Well,
Ribbit.
no, you were a balloon frog.
I was a giant balloon toad because my current D&D character is a homebrew clown girl, and the reason I went with druid is because I wanted it so that every time I shapeshifted into a beast, it was a balloon animal.
And we did, because that's hilarious.
It's fun coming up with like funny characters like that. Like
It really is.
I
Do
don't
you remember Snuffles?
Yes, I remember Snuffles.
Snuffles!
Are we ever gonna finish that?
No, because Ash won't get on Discord to finish it.
No. I've never understood why people are so drawn to edgy characters. Like, it's so much more fun to play a silly character.
I think the people who tend to go for the edgy characters tend to be like first timers or people who watch things like Lord of the Rings and go, oh, isn't Aragon cool?
Yeah. And people who watch Naruto and just become
Or
obsessed
V
with
for
Sasuke.
Vendetta. Oh yeah.
Sasuke's like the big edgelord, I think, that most people know. We're in the red and we're back to green.
Yeah, it's going to keep bouncing up and down.
Like, I think the only time I would play an edgy character is if I was purposefully playing a caricature as a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I'd make them edgy to the point that it's ridiculous. Like, their backstory would literally be, my family died, and then I was taken in by another family who also died. And so on and so forth.
You haven't seen it, but those guys that I watch play Fallout, Mike and Zach, they download a load of mods to play, and they met one who was called Gary Stu, and the first time you speak to him, he tells you in like this really put on tough guy voice. It was like, my entire family was killed in front of me when I was still a baby, but I beat them all off with the kung fu I'd learned when I was in the womb. I was then raised by wolves, and I have such an enhanced sense of smell.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then, like, I think he goes off to fight somebody while singing Gary Stu, that's my name, Gary Stu. And then dies instantly.
Oh my god. See, like, that is exactly my sense of humour.
Yeah. So I like these pens. I just need to see how well they scan.
Mm-hmm.
If they scan well, I'm going to have to see if I can find different sizes. Or at least something that uses calligraphy ink.
When do you want to do the next stream?
Could do it Saturday again.
Yeah.
Unless you're feeling it and you want to do something.
Don't think, like... I'm in
Gay.
work Monday. I am gay. I'm in work Monday and then I'm in work Sunday, so I've got 5 days off in between.
We could stream something if you want. We might have to set the Discord
Yeah.
if there's anything in particular days want to see, but
Yeah. I think the main
I know you want to
ones-
get back to Stardew.
I want to get back to Stardew and also the Isle, like, because I
The
started.
Isle, I
playing
think,
it.
isn't going to work with this
Why?
internet connection.
Oh yeah, good point. The Isle, because I started playing it again by myself, but I was like, I either need to be in the mood to talk to random strangers, or I need to play this with you, because it's not really the kind of game you can, like, you can play it by yourself, but it gets a bit boring.
It'd be great if we had some like subscribers that would come and play with us as
That
well,
would be
and we'd
fun.
just do T-Rex racing.
Yeah. They don't run very fast. Would probably be better with like a raptor racing or something. And raptors are the only, like, the Utahraptors are the only ones that can
Utahraptor.
jump in that game. Like, I was kind of surprised the Dilos couldn't.
No, there are a few. What was it? Jurassic Park 2 comes out soon.
Yeah.
Fallen Kingdoms comes out next year. Oh no, Prehistoric Kingdom. Sorry, comes out next year.
I think Jurassic World 2 actually comes out in like 2 months.
It is very close.
It could get pushed back though.
Again, when they find something else with it, yeah.
I'd rather games got pushed back than
And then work, yeah.
than come out and there's loads of bugs and things aren't quite ready and things have been rushed.
Ubisoft,
Yeah.
or as I call them, Ubisoft in the head.
There again, you always run the risk of it being like Bethesda, where it keeps getting pushed back, but nothing's getting
Thing is,
fixed.
they don't hide it now. They sort of know. It just works. It just works. Little lies, stunning shows. People buy, money flows.
Because, like, I don't understand that, because it's like they are pushing it back. Like, they keep pushing them back, but it doesn't feel like they're fixing any of it. So it's like, what are they pushing it back for? Like, at that point, just bring it out and let the modders fix it.
Yeah, and then steal the mods and sell it to us again.
Cha-ching.
Howard, now that you've added fishing to the next Skyrim release.
Well, everyone's acting like that's a new thing. That was literally, like, in the Creation Club for ages and no one bothered with it. Like, in fact, all of the DLC content is literally just a bunch of...
But it's free now, babe.
I mean, it's free if you currently
well,
own
well, no,
the
you have to
game.
buy it to get it, but...
I am literally like, ever since it got pointed out in, like, someone sent me a video and the guy was basically explaining how the new update will basically break pretty much every mod.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if, like, I feel like a bunch of people who, like, I feel like the majority of PC players, at least the ones who mod it, which is pretty much probably everyone who plays on PC, are gonna, like, not have the update. They're just gonna, like, disable it, because I have. So it's like, if it's a choice between
You gotta protect your bikini armor.
yeah, if it's a choice between some of my favourite mods and a fishing update along with, oh yeah, there's like one quest, I think, like, there is apparently this one quest mod that comes with it that people are saying is pretty good, but the thing is, like, I could always just pay for, if I really wanted to, I could pay for that and just get that one bit, and I'm not too fussed about fishing, to be honest.
Even when we watched the clip of the fishing, it looks so bare basic. But yeah, I'm with you. If I had to make a choice between my favourite mods and Todd Howard's happiness, I know what I'd choose.
It's also like, what's it? It's like, I'm still refusing to use the camping option that comes with Creation Club, because, like, even though it might possibly work better than Campfire, I'm just kind of like, heck no, I'm gonna support the modders. Fuck you. Like, Campfire works pretty good anyway, but what I mean is, like, with Creation Club, you always, like, they're always patched into the game better, I think, but at the same time, it's like, there's more you can do with mods.
There is.
And saying that, the last time my game crashed to the point where it just wasn't loading, it was because all of the Creation Club content had just decided to uninstall for some reason. And if people listen to this conversation, you can guarantee some of them will be getting annoyed. Like, I remember, like, someone said, I was on Reddit and someone was posting in, like, the Skyrim subreddit saying, like,
Didn't you make a completely innocent comment about a character and then someone exploded at you?
What was it? I did do that, but I don't remember what character it was. I think I pretty much said, the Stormcloaks were never gonna win, because, like, when you put it into perspective, it's sort of like they're gonna use up all their resources trying to get the Empire out of Skyrim, and, like, even if they manage to do that, like
The Falmer.
yeah, the Thalmor are going to invade again, and they're going to have tired all of their resources out. But even before then, it's sort of like, if the Empire really wanted to keep Skyrim, they probably wouldn't, but like if they did, they're going to have more soldiers in other areas, like for instance back in Cyrodiil, whereas like Skyrim, just like the Stormcloaks literally just have what you see in the game, which is like, of course, then like it's very unlikely, but then like even if they did manage it, they've got the Thalmor to deal with. So it's really dumb. Yeah, I said that and someone exploded at me and basically went on a rant saying I was wrong and...
You're a racist or something like that.
No, they weren't saying that. They were just kind of like... They tried to say stuff like, well, they could always ask Hammerfell for help and the Empire also doesn't have any allies and stuff like that. And I was like, how likely are Hammerfell to help out Skyrim? Because yes, they fought back the Thalmor, but it was only to protect their own homeland. What makes you think they would go out of their way to help Skyrim? But yeah, I was on the subreddit for it like yesterday or something, and it was like someone had basically made a post saying unpopular opinion, but vanilla Skyrim isn't a good game, and that got loads of upvotes. So I wrote a comment like, yeah, I totally agree. I actually don't like vanilla Skyrim very much. I find it kind of boring. It's buggy as hell. It will crash for no good reason.
Yep.
But it's the base work for one of my favourite games, modded Skyrim, and I got downvoted on it. I was like, what have I said that's different than the
You
original?
pissed off
post?
the fanboys.
Yeah, what? Because I said I didn't like vanilla Skyrim because it was boring.
You laugh. Fanboys can be absolute vicious people.
Yeah. Like
Right, when the Xbox One was first coming out, they came out with the principle that if one person in your house, say you've got one Xbox for this one house, someone buys Halo or something like that, your brother or whoever then wants to play Halo, makes a profile, signs into the Xbox, he has to buy Halo as well.
because it's a separate profile.
Yes.
That sounds.
So you can't
shitty.
share games with people in the same house.
It's shitty, but that sounds about normal for a lot of big companies like that.
And everyone got mad about it. And they were like, why? Why can we not share games with the same people in our house and things like that? And eventually they changed it. But then when they did change it, a load of fanboys then signed a petition to get it changed back to the way it was. And it didn't, because those fanboys are fucking retarded. But
yeah, what was the... How does that benefit them in any way?
they weren't listening at all. Any argument they pointed that proved them wrong, they were just saying that you're a troll, you're an idiot, you're not a real fan, things like that. And I'm like, bitch, if you could get run over, the world would be a better place.
Oh, so it's just kind of like, because you're not willing to buy the game 10 times over, you're not a true fan.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And Vaughn can be a bit like that with Halo, if I'm honest.
Oh.
Not toxic, but he just...
We're bringing the tea tonight.
Yeah. But just such blind loyalty to the Halo series. Halo could make it so that every time you want to shoot a bullet, you have to pull your pants down and let a bulldog bite your dick off. And he'd still do it. So, like, I'm all for loyalty, but I'm not going to be blind about it.
Yeah.
And loyalty doesn't mean you agree with everything someone does.
Yeah.
You do what's best for them, even if it means turning against them.
You're right, yeah. Like, I've seen so many people like that. Since I started getting involved more in, like, fandoms as well, I see a lot of people where it's like that, where it's like, the creator's word is fucking law and stuff like that, and it's like, no, it's fucking not. Shut up.
J.K. Rowling.
No.
You also said that thing again, bringing the tea.
Yeah.
I'd still never heard that before you said it.
I feel like that's a real, like, in regards to sort of like decades, I feel like that's relatively new, because it was like something that I said back when I was a teenager. but it's not like.
Did your mum say it?
No, it was like. I feel like that was sort of like a slang term that was around when I was younger, but it's not something that my mum and dad would understand.
My dad would say Gordon Bennett a lot, and then I
Yeah, I
picked
heard
up on
that.
that one.
I think bringing the tea and like spill the tea, I think that. I don't know, like I picked it up from my best friend because I really remember her saying it. But I don't know where she probably got it from some YouTubers she was watching.
Alright, so we're finished, babe. The inking, what do you think?
It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Move it a little bit closer so they can see better. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
So there we are. Here it is finished. Good. How's that? Does that work?
Yeah, that was great.
So there we go. That's it inked. We're not going to colour it tonight because it's coming up to 11:30. I will do this again on stream. Don't think it'll be Saturday. It could be, but we don't know yet. But then you'll actually get to see the new layout I've got on the stream. Aka's seen it already. She really likes it.
It looks really pretty.
So thanks everyone for coming. We might have somebody to raid. Should we have a look?
How do I check again?
Well, open up Twitch in a browser. And then go, yeah. And then on the left it'll say who's on.
So you got Ozzy and Waz.
Ozzy and Waz. Let's do Waz. We haven't seen him for a while. So in the chat in OBS, type /raid.
Yep.
Wazations. Space after the raid as well.
Yeah.
Wazations.
Wazations. I spelled it right.
Is it working?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so they're a timer.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks everyone for coming. We'll be back next week with either Stardew, another game we're playing, maybe Sunhaven, or I'll be doing this again. But thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye! Press raid.
Yeah.